I've had it pointed out to me that for a Warhammer channel, I don't really do a lot of Space Marines. Well, that all gets to change today in this new studio where we'll be able to do more than ever and see more than ever. I didn't mean like that. Today I want to take you through a detailed process of how to build a Space Marine, starting with the build and clean, to choosing a paint recipe, to the basics of basing, and we're going to be doing accidental Ultramarines because I know you all have accidental Ultramarines. It's our biggest shame. With that revealed, let's get on with the video. So for the first steps of the build and clean phase of creating your army and starting with this singular model is to choose the model that you want to build. Maybe one of the models that excites you a bit more, is more of a dynamic pose, but one that you know that you're going to enjoy building because you want to see that finished product. Best thing to do now is to start by getting rid of those nasty mold lines. So we want to get our mold line remover, which could be anything from our hobby knife to a blunt hobby knife or any sort of metallic object. I mean, even a sort of a tool such as this could be used to remove it's something that you want sharp that can move along the line and just very gently shave away that line that has been left from the mold. Now, what I like to do once I have done all this is then assemble the model using not a lot of glue, although this is a new pot of glue, so it came out. It's probably the maximum amount of glue that I'd want to see being used on a model. Generally, I'd want to see less, but as I said, it's a new figure glue, so that stuff just wanted to flow out as quick as it could and get absolutely everywhere. But if you start getting on your fingers, then you start touching the model, you'll start finding that you'll put your fingerprints onto the actual model, and that is something that we definitely want to avoid, because then you're going to have to do that same process you did where we're trying to get rid of the mold lines or your fingerprints at this point, or having to file it down with a file and then shave it down again. And the final process I do once the model is completely built, and then now you can see all the areas where you've done that mold line removal, and I just like to run a bit of glue over this. So I use the liquid glue that's on the with the brush applicator to brush over it and just sort of smooth it down, because what plastic glue does is it actually melts the plastic momentarily, and then it air dries, so then it goes rock solid. So that's how it combines the two parts together. So that's what I like to do for my build and clean process. Then once all the glue has dried, we can then move on to the next part of the process. Now that we have prepped the model to be painted, it's time to give it a base coat. And what I mean by that is giving it an initial layer of paint, something for the later colours that we're going to be using to adhere to, something for them to grab onto, and so that we're not just sticking them straight onto the bare plastic. This gives us massive advantages, and we can use it in a way to really help us. You can use any colour you want as a primer. Now, I tend to use black because that means we've already got our shadows coloured in for any areas that we may not be able to get at or get to later on with our brush or airbrushes, no matter what we use. So some people like to use white for lighter models and things like that, but I prefer black myself. And here I'm using Colour Forge Black, the spray paint. Don't worry, this is a well ventilated area. Now here in front of me you can see an arraignment of different paints, going from a dark blue right up into a light blue. Those first three are my paints that are going to be going down in layers. Going to be thinned down with water, and they're going to be thin layers. I'm going to be using 2 coats for the first really dark layer to make sure that's really on there and that you can't see too much black. And any black you can see, as we discussed, is going to be hidden with the, well, there's going to be black there, so it's just going to look like shadows. So you want to make sure you give the paints a really good mix before using them. And then to show you that you don't need the best brushes, this is a size 6 brush. It's massive. It doesn't need to be massive. But for getting these first layers down, you know, whatever brush you got. So as I said, we're going to fill it down, get 2 layers on. Then those next 2 layers that you saw, those next 2 progressively lighter blues, I'm then going to dry brush them on. And some people may go, oh, dry brushing, easy. Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. It's easy. And again, I've got multiple different brushes I can use to do this. I've chosen not the best one because, as I said, you don't need the best, the creme de la creme, those sable hair brushes for this step. We're just going to dry brush that layer on. Dry brush. Voice and words apparently don't want to work for me. And then what I'm going to do is just, again, use a terrible brush that I have and just sort of do a very thin layer over the top where the dry brushing is at its thickest to really sort of conduce and bring it together as one, so it doesn't have that pitted look that the dry brushing can have. Now, you may want to leave that to give a form of grim darking to your paint job. So I think dry brushing gives a really nice grim dark look, but not one necessarily that we have to be after all the time. So I quite like the way that it gradiates up with the dried brushing, and then we can bring it together to make it look like we haven't done that much dry brushing by sort of glazing over that top layer, if that makes sense. And then you'll see. I should be doing it somewhere around there or there, or wherever I've put my head. And then that last paint, that is just going to be for doing edge highlights. It doesn't need to be for anything else. I don't want to dry brush that on. I don't want to do anything like that or glaze it onto it, because I feel like it's going to make the Ultramarine too bright, too Smurf-like. And even though these are accidental Ultramarines, I don't need accidental Smurfs as well. So yeah, that's really quite a nice punchy way of doing it, I think, personally.
While that's going on, let me tell you about Merlin Miniatures. Now, if you follow my link below, it is an affiliate link, so I get a little kickback if you follow my link below. Why would you follow it? They have a massive range of paints, notably Dark Star and 2 thin coats, which they've got really good deals on at the moment. A massive range of miniatures, everything from the new stuff right back to the classics. So if you want to get yourself on some of those old out of production models like I usually do, which is how I found these guys, then go give them a look. They're really active on social media, and with every purchase I get a little kickback and you earn loyalty points to go towards your next purchase. And also, feeling a little skint this month? Don't want to play with your army anymore? Haven't played with an army for a long time? Why don't you get some money from them by selling to them? That's right, not only can you spend your money there, you can make some money there to go towards that army that you truly want. Check out Merlin Miniatures today and follow my link below.
So then the next point of call is all the accenting and the greeblies. So getting the gold onto the trim. I've been paying a friend's Emperor's Children. There's just Chaos has too much trim. No. It doesn't need that much trim. So yeah. So anyway, luckily there's not a lot of trim on this Ultramarine that we're painting up. So what I've done for the gold is I've done death metal from Army Painter and then hit it at the top with some Retributor Gold, because I find that gives a really nice dark to bright look. That means that you've not just put one gold colour down and gone, yeah, that'll do. You've put a bit of thought into it, and that's all we're doing here. We're just putting a bit of thought into all those little bits that we've got in there, like the belts. Okay, yeah, that could be brown with a wash. Do you want to do a bit more there, mate, or not? It's totally up to you. If brown with a wash is your standard, great. Maybe then come back in with that same brown and then a lighter brown. You might suddenly go, oh, that looks a lot nicer actually. And I've now upgraded my painting skills. I've not just left it at brown with a wash. See what we're doing here? We're trying to map out what we're doing first, choose our colour scheme, and then just upgrade it that next step. Add another colour, blend two together, try some washes, try some speed paints, and then see how you like the use and the feel of them, because this is your hobby. This is how you want to paint. This is just me telling you how I've painted mine, but really it's showing you that it's not that difficult to come up to that next level. Just make sure, just thin your paints. This is the whole video. Thin your paints and don't just use one colour. But I need to get 10 minutes out of this at least, so I think we're at 10 minutes now anyway. So yeah, so just bring it up and over and push it that next level. And if you're sort of saying to yourself, oh God, I don't know how to glaze, start now. Start before you think you're ready. I did this with this YouTube channel. I started way when I should not have been allowed anywhere near a camera and a microphone and access to the internet. But here I am today. I feel like I've progressed. I have not deleted a single video from my channel. Go right back to my first video and then come back to this one. Tell me there's been some improvement, because I just went for it. I went, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to learn as I go. So if you want to get better at glazing, if you want to get better at non-metallic metals, things like that, take the opportunity, do it now. Faces, I hate doing faces. I'm sure the bit where I've done the face coming up, they're looking not terrible, but yeah, it's just that thing, you know. People hate doing certain things when it comes to parts of painting. I don't know why. I hate doing skin, I hate doing faces. I always try and now paint some skin and paint some faces because I'm terrible at it. But the more I do, the better I will get. And eventually I'll be at that standard where people will be like, oh my God, how did you paint that face? And I will just go back to this video and say, that is how I painted that face. I just kept doing it. And that's the real trick to it. I taught myself something new every time I tried. You can do that too, very easily. I know you can. I know you got it in you. We all do. Especially you. I know you do. Come on, buddy. Get it done. So when it comes to basing your model, you want to have something that you know you can repeat on a large scale. There's no point just doing little one-offs, because the thing that really ties an army together is those bases. So as you can see here, there's quite a large mass of different things. I've got mini bricks in 28mm scale. I've got leaves, rubble, different colours of flock. So say you're going to use this light coloured flock with some summery just falling off the tree leaves and, I don't know, some light coloured rubble. Now you either want to make a big mixture to begin with, or just remember and write down roughly what proportions you've put into that mix. 'Cause otherwise, when it comes later on, your army might not look so unified when they come up with different coloured bases. Now a lot of people put the basing material down first and then paint it on. That's an option. I prefer to do different flocks and make my own little mixtures with all these little bags. I pick these up from everywhere. I always carry some little baggies around with me, not because I have a problem, but I have a problem with Warhammer. The other problem would probably have been cheaper. Well guys, thanks for joining me on yet another video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I know I certainly have. And you might want to go and follow Merlin Miniatures on Instagram if you haven't, because I'm in a competition and I might need your help because there's votes for the winners. Don't vote for me because I'm not going to tell you to vote for me. Vote for me if you want to. But if you think the competition has done better, make sure you vote for the competition, because that just I don't want this to be a case of I sent my followers over and they all went click, 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 click. Not how I want this to happen. I want to win fair and square if I win. Well, of course I'm going to. So yeah, vote for the best one, because I don't want that to be me just on the fact that I sent people over there. That would feel wrong, and it's not in the spirit of the competition. If I don't deserve it, I don't want it. And yeah, that'll be the next video, guys. Me building a Chaos kit bash from the last 30 years of Games Workshop Chaos, and there is a lot of bits. There's a lot to do. I haven't even started yet. The box turned up 2 days ago. I needed to get this video done. I'll see you in the next one.